tube post. It will look up and deliver any document from the archive according to an assigned code. Employee ID card reader. The door to the office is locked. A vending machine. I'm not thirsty at the moment. A common office printer. Drawers for storing documents. It would take forever to find something in these. It could use some watering. Felix, Barbora's pet. Felix, It is an ordinary pencil sharpener. A small metal pencil sharpener. That reminds me of something. Records from years 1983, 1984, and 1985. Nothing I'd be interested in at the moment. There seems to be traces of ballpen embossed text on the paper. A notepad. The pages are blank. The drawer is locked. Neither end is sharpened. I can't write much this way. The pencil has a sharp tip. The text is quite legible now. Some numbers. D3-7422. Input code. There's nothing in it. The pockets are empty. A small key was hidden under the flower pot. The stamp of the Central Archive. I'll skim through Barbora's email. This looks interesting. The State Institute of Care of Historic Monuments, from Peter Nadol, probably the person who sent the report form to Barbora. I'll print out a copy. A copy of the report prepared by Barbora. A copy. The report now fulfills all prerequisites. Something's wrong. I don't know the necessary code. The system took several minutes to deliver the document. I didn't know what Barbora had stored in the archive. That made my waiting even longer. It seemed to take forever. Maybe this is what Barbora's murderer was looking for. The original NiBiRu project documentation from 1943. Codename NI.BI.RU. Created March 15, 1936. Section: Application of New Technologies, Weapon Systems. Location: Kohnstein, Nordhausen. Officer in charge of the research: G. Malmström. Deputy Officer in charge of the research: D. Romhart. Scientific staff count: 7 men. Military staff count: 12 men. Project scope: research of the possibility of contact of extraterrestrial entities with the ancient Mayan and Sumerian civilizations. Analysis of new metals and other materials found on archaeological sites in Mexico and their utilization in new weapon technologies. The professor was right. The Germans were closer than anybody could have imagined. We have nothing to talk about. There is nothing to talk about. At last, lunch break is over and the bureau is open. An armchair for the guests. I don't want to sit down. Various newspaper and magazine clippings. I can't possibly read them from over here. A pretty young woman. Good morning.
Good morning, sir. How may I help you?
My name is Martin Holin, and I'm with the International Archaeological Organization. I need to have a permission slip validated to enter a site of historical discovery.
What kind of discovery, and where is it located?
Western Bohemia. That's all I can tell you.
Hush, hush. What's this all about then?
Well, you need to fill in these two forms and I'll queue up your application.
But you see, I need that validation slip immediately. I can't wait until tomorrow. Isn't there something I could do to speed things up?
I'm afraid not. There are many applications and we are required to not make any exceptions.
So when would my application be processed?
Not before tomorrow, but more likely the day after tomorrow.
I can't possibly wait that long.
I understand, but there's no other way. So, do you want those forms?
No thanks. I'll come back later.
All right, then. You can't enter that office, sir. The president is busy and doesn't wish to be disturbed.
Oh, of course. I'm sorry. She won't let me in. Can I have your call card?
Oh, sure. Feel free to take one.
Thanks. The call card of the secretary from the Institute. I have to find another way to get the permission validated without all those forms. I don't need any... He won't let...
What can I do for you, sir?
We talked about a permission slip validation, Western Bohemia.
Oh, yes, I remember that. You've come in to fill the forms, right?
Well, I really need to have this dealt with fast, and I definitely can't wait until tomorrow. Couldn't I just walk into the office next door and get the single necessary stamp?
Like I've already told you, you'll have to follow the rules. Besides, Mr. President is too busy today. And we don't make exceptions, sir.
No exceptions. Got it.
Listen, I've got work to do. You need anything else?
No, thanks. Bye.
Goodbye.
The call card of the secretary. I could use some information. Don't you happen to know a young woman who works in this building right here behind you? About 25, slim, blonde.
Yeah, I probably know the one you mean. What about her?
Which car does she drive to work in?
Well, since it's you and with all the smokes and all, why wouldn't I tell? She's got a silver Mercedes. Always parks it around the corner here.
And the license plate number?
You're kidding, right? What am I, a PI? What do I care about license plate numbers?
A silver Mercedes. That'll do, thanks.
Yeah, and try not to get your ass kicked. She's probably got the car from that jerk who waits for her here from time to time.
Well, I'm not gonna try to get a date, but I'll watch out anyway, thanks. The license plate number is 1A7-1537.
Historic Monuments Care. Good morning. How can they help you?
Good morning, miss. Prague water supply and sewerage here. We've come across a small problem. Maybe you can help us.
Well, this is the President's Secretary. What's the trouble?
We need to get inside a sewer right next to your building, but there's a vehicle parked over it. They gave me this number. Wouldn't you happen to know whom the car belongs to? It's a Mercedes.
A Mercedes? That's my car! What's the license plate number?
1A7-1537.
Jesus Christ, that's my car!
What a pleasant coincidence.
I hope the car is alright. I've only had it for a couple of months.
Don't worry, miss. We've barely touched it. But could you come down and repark?
I can't leave the office right now. Is it absolutely necessary?
Yes, we've got work to do, and having the vehicle towed away might waste a lot of time.
Towed away? Oh wait, hold on. I'll be there in a minute.
Okay, we'll wait for a bit, but please don't delay us unnecessarily.
No, I won't. I'm coming right away. Thank you for calling.
You're welcome. Bye. Good morning.
Excuse me, but who let you in? I have no time for a personal appointment today. Mr.
Holen. Martin Holen. I apologize for disturbing you, but the door was open, so I entered.
How come my secretary even allowed you to enter? I distinctly said I didn't want to be disturbed.
Well, there was nobody in the office.
Really? Those are explicit instructions. Well, I'll have to handle that later. Let's get to why you're here. Why have you come to see me?
I'm with the International Archaeological Organization and need your authority to validate a permission to enter a site in Western Bohemia where a German mine from around the end of World War II was uncovered. I've got the report on the discovery right here.
Oh, yes. I've heard something about that already. Tell me more.
I'm afraid to disappoint you, but I only know as well what's in the report. You see, I've been studying the war for some time now. I'm very interested in that particular period, and Peter wanted me to go have a look. I'm supposed to learn the details at the site.
Peter Nebel?
Yes. Do you know him?
We went to the same school. I remember him from a few of the bars and drink fests we hung out in. Why haven't you applied for the validation approval formally?
You see, I'm going to visit my uncle in France. Peter's call was pretty much unexpected, and I promised I'd check out the site before I left.
Oh, I understand. Trouble is, I have no idea if that permission will do you any good.
How do you mean?
I got a call yesterday. They're afraid the corridors might be undermined. We asked for an explosive squad to investigate the whole area.
You know what havoc people outside our field can wreak before we even get to the site?
You're right. At any rate, I'll validate your permission form. Just one condition. I'd like you to call me when you're finished over there. Oh, and say hello to Peter from me.
Gladly. Thank you. I rented a car and set off directly to the location where the mine had been discovered. A lot of thoughts were running through my mind on the way. Soon the silhouette of the forest emerged on the horizon.
Halt! What are you doing here? Civilians have no business here.
I'm from the Historic Monuments Institute, and I have the necessary permission.
Another archaeologist? Weren't you supposed to back off until our people clear the area?
Not quite. There's a couple of details left to be checked out.
Okay, wait here. I'm going to call my commander. Sir, there's a man demanding entry to the location.
No civilians are allowed to enter the site at this point.
He says he has permission.
Oh, does he? Let's see it then. Well, I'm not delighted, but it seems everything's okay with your papers. You're free to move around the camp, but nowhere else. Especially not the mine. Until that area is explored properly, nobody's going down there. Understood?
Yes.
You'll find your colleague down that path over there on the bridge.
Colleague?
He arrived after all the other archaeologists had left. Don't you know about him?
Oh, of course. I remember now. I'll speak to him.
Do what you have to, but don't forget what I said.
This isn't looking good. Getting into the mine won't be easy. I'll have a look around and see what I can do.